Thank you very much, MC. National Chairman of our great party, Your Excellency, Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and spouse, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic and spouse, Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Majority Leader Honorable Chairman Sabonso, national officers, ministers of states, CEOs, MDs, MMDCs, and other government officials, our hard-working members of parliament, party executives from the regions, constituencies, and polling stations across the country. Reps of our external branches present, our venerable chiefs, TESCON executives here gathered, and opinion leaders, reps of other political parties present, our sister political parties from across the world, here represented by Deputy Secretary General Gerald Kazembe from Malawi Congress Party. The media, ladies and gentlemen, I humbly bring you warm greetings from the National Secretariat of the New Patriotic Party, and in particular, the National Executive Committee of the party. As has always been the case, I am highly honored and privileged to be addressed once again on the state of the party at this National Annual Delegates Conference. This report, among other things, captures some of the developments in the party from our last National Delegates Conference, which was held in 2019, till date, and the way forward. But before I proceed, I humbly crave your indulgence, Mr. Chairman, for us to rise up and observe a mini silence for our departed patriots whose illustrious works have brought us this far. Let us all be on our feet. From the last year, we've lost Agnes Donko, Quadra West organizer, Rita Otu, J. Tokwashi, C.K. Tedam, Malon Anipa, DCE for Guan District, Ebenezer Azuma, second vice chairperson, Latif, regional youth organizer for Upper East, Honorable Kofi Ada, former MP, Navrogo Central, Chairman Kofi Juma, Pru East Constituency Chairman, Nana Adom Yabua, Chairman Abochi, Techiman South Constituency Chairman, Sam Kujo, Kofi Dakong from the Bono region, Dr. Amakutufo, and the last but not the least, our own Kojo Owusu Efriye, Sir John. May their souls and the souls of all our departed rest in the bosom of the Lord until the last days of resurrection, where we shall all meet again in heaven. Amen. Thank you very much. This National Annual Delegates Conference, being the first of its kind after our victory in 2020 general elections, permit me once again, Mr. Chairman, to seize this opportunity to say a big thank you, first of all, to our hard-working party members and executives from the polling station level to electoral area to constituency to regional and national levels, as well as our external branches, for working their hearts out to ensure an NPP victory in the 2020 general election. I equally wish to use this opportunity on behalf of the party to once again thank people of this country, the Ghanaian electorates, for renewing our mandates by voting massively for our 2020 presidential candidate, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to continue to build on the solid socio-economic foundation we have laid in the last 4 years to 5 years, for the growth and development of our dear nation, for the prosperity of our people. The NPP is indeed grateful and we assure the Ghanaian people that we will not let you down. It is inarguable that the 2020 general election was not won on a silver platter, but as a result of effective and efficient time-testing campaign strategies rolled out by the party leadership, coupled with the hard work and sacrifices of our rank and file. The campaign was structured from national to polling station levels. The national campaign team was headed by the 6-member team constituted as follows. Honorable Peter McMahon chaired the campaign as campaign manager. Mustafa Hamid was deputy campaign manager. Lord Kome was deputy campaign manager. Ifua Sabia was deputy campaign manager. And myself, the general secretary, was the director of operations, assisted by my organizer and my wings of the party. We also had regional campaign teams headed by the various regional chairpersons of our party, with the other regional and some identifiable individuals in the various regions as members. The regional campaign teams went on to inaugurate constituency campaign teams, which were co-chaired by the constituency chairpersons and parliamentary candidates in the various constituencies. Finally, we had an electoral area and polling station campaign teams, which were inaugurated by the various campaign teams. The party organized a series of workshops and orientation programs for the members of the campaign teams across all levels, as well as our parliamentary candidates, to equip them with the state-of-the-art political campaign strategies and canvassing techniques to make them more effective, efficient, and ahead of the D-Day's operations. We also held training workshops for our officers on the ground and polling agents to acquaint them with the effective use of technology in our famous pink sheet tracking system, which made it possible for the party to collect its nationwide election results from all over the 38,000 polling stations in a record time of less than 12 hours after the polls. This is said to be the earliest or fastest collation of elections results undertaken by any political party in the world. You cannot expect less from the New Patriotic Party when it comes to digitization, which includes leveraging on our technology to achieve results and make life easier and comforting. In contrast, the NDC has still not been able to collate its 2016 and 2020 election figures. Indeed, we have shown that we are better than them in everything, and we can only say, glory be to God for how far God has brought us. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, going is an unprecedented electoral feat in the Fourth Republic for a political party seeking re-election for a second term in office. We, however, could not wholly achieve our second target of winning overwhelming majority in seats in Parliament. Though on record, we are the majority group in Parliament today, even as we prepare for a by-election in Asin North, which we are very confident of winning to add to our seats in Parliament. By the election outcome, we lost 49 seats to the NDC and snatched 17 seats, which meant that we had made a net loss of 32 seats in all. Much as this performance in the parliamentary impressive, we must place it in context, considering where we are coming from. In 2016, in the 2016 parliamentary elections, we, in an unprecedented fashion, snatched as many as 55 seats from the then NDC, which gave us 169 seats. Out of the 55 seats that we snatched from the NDC, 23 of them were seats that we lost the presidential elections. What it means is that we benefited from skirt and blouse in the year 2016. In much the same way in 2020, the 49 seats that we lost to the NDC, 32 of them we lost the presidential, but won the parliamentary. The point must also be made that late organization of our parliamentary primaries, which has been acknowledged by the majority leader, knowing very well that we had challenges towards the organization of the primaries as a result of COVID. That moved our date from March to around June. It was a difficult process. We need to adapt innovative ways of getting our parliamentarians to be elected. Yes, I agreed. It makes it very difficult for us to heal wounds after the elections because it was short period towards the election. Following our emphatic victory in the 2020 presidential elections, as declared by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, the twice defeated NDC presidential candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, led his party to challenge the outcome of the presidential elections. This was after they had lied to their supporters, claiming the NDC won the elections and not the NPP. Following this incitement, their supporters spent weeks on the streets, staging series of unlawful demonstrations, burning car ties, and terrorizing innocent citizens who were going about their normal business. Well, eventually, when John Mahama and the NDC decided to go to court, they shockingly told the court that they didn't win and also that nobody won. We all saw how they ended up embarrassing themselves in the courts, where they could not produce even a single pink sheet to support their claim. Ultimately, the court, in a unanimous 9-0 verdict, ruled in our favor, affirming the declaration made by the EC, which declaration was corroborated by the media and endorsed by both local and international election observers as a true reflection of the sovereign will of the Ghanaian people. The national officers, after the election, led by the national chairman, embarked on a nationwide tour to all the 16 regions of the country to touch base with party grassroots at the regional and constituency levels following the party's electoral victory in 2020. The essence of the tour was to first of all thank the teaming members and officers of the party for the invaluable roles they played in prosecuting the NPP's 2020 campaign, culminating in the December 7 victory. The touching base and thank you tour also forms part of efforts of re-energizing, restructuring, and repositioning the party in order to break the 8-year governance cycle, which has gained notoriety in this Fourth Republic between the two major political parties. As part of the feedback processes that we got from the thank you tour, our party constituency officers and regional officers complained bitterly about what had then started by individuals jostling to take over from His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, even when he has not been sworn in government or as president. They charged the national officers to liaise with the National Executive and the National Council to fashion out code of conduct to regulate pre-parliamentary and presidential elections for our party. True to our word, National Council on 27 July 2020 made some significant sanity and was able to fashion out code of conduct in order to crack the whip where the need be. It is evidently clear that the combined effect of discussions and the publication of the code has calmed the waters of competition quite dramatically, and want to use this occasion to congratulate all prospective aspirants for their disciplined observance of the code. We also want to thank all supporters of the aspirants for accepting the need to moderate their efforts and to act with decorum whilst we focus on delivering our mandate to the good people of Ghana, who have rested their confidence in us for another term. It is in the same spirit that enabled the National Steering Committee and the National Executive Committee to ban all internal elections at this conference. And I can see that that decision, that courageous decision of the National Steering Committee endorsed by National Executive Committee is gaining and making gains for this party. Indeed, social and economic transformation takes time, and consistency of policy implementation is very much needed. Nowhere in the Constitution of Ghana does it say that a party that is performing well should be changed after 8 years. It is rather the president leading the party. So a president who performs well must leave after 8 years, but the party can continue with a new president to consolidate the good policies and present a fresh eye and vision. That is what informs the NPP desire to break the 8. The NPP believes strongly that after 8 elections and 2 rotations between NPP and NDC, Ghana will want an NPP government to continue to deliver on the policies and programs that are gradually changing this nation for the better. We are humbly counting on Ghanaians to sustain the NPP in power after 2024 by voting massively to endorse the best of our policies and grant our new leader the opportunity to carry the torch of progress forward. Per the dictates of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic, our hard-working president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, cannot seek re-election in 2024, and so we are expecting to elect. We therefore expect to open nomination at the right time. I repeat, at the right time. We are nowhere near that right time, and when the right time comes and we open nominations, we are confident that the party will present a good successor to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That leader will continue to listen to the people, mobilize the best of our values and talents, and accelerate the social and economic transformation of our dear country. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the party leadership has been paying significant attention to improving the state of the party structures and organization at all levels, especially the grassroots, which form the base of the party. Pursuant to this, we have, with the help of some benevolent party individuals, been assisting in the construction of regional and constituency offices in the regions and constituencies. And recent one was what happened in Joabin, where Nana Dokua Beauty Queen donated such a magnificent building for the new patriotic party. I think that all must join me to thank Nana Dokua and public-spirited patriots like her to continue to develop and contribute to the running of our great party. Furthermore, the party, as you all know, has been making financial contributions to support the various regional and constituency secretariats across the country, with a view to reducing the financial burden on party executives. I dare say, no party in Ghana, and indeed Africa, has been able to do this on a sustained basis as we have done in the new patriotic party. Indeed, when we visited you in your constituencies and regions during our nationwide thank you tour, you expressed satisfaction at the quantum of resources that was made available to the various structures of the party, particularly before and during the 2020 elections, to enhance your campaign activities. You described this feat as an unprecedented development in the history of the party, but like the proverbial Oliver Twist, you asked for more resources and a consideration of the process of disbursing these resources, particularly in the lead up to a general elections. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on party-government relationship, there is absolutely no doubt that our victory in 2024, where we seek to break the 8 years governance cycle, shall depend largely on the kind of relationship existing between party and government. Any gap in this relationship or disconnect between the party on one hand and government on the other hand shall be detrimental to our electoral fortunes. We are all aware of the very reasons why parties in government easily lose elections. Research in this part of our world has been shown that the main opposition political parties do not necessarily win elections, but rather it is the governing party that loses elections. People decide to vote for your opponents, not because they like them, but because they want to vote against you, because they feel you have neglected them and they want to punish you. If for nothing at all, we have the Dr. Herman's report, Kwesi Boche's report of the reason why NDC lost the 2016 elections, amongst other things, apathy, occasioned largely by breakdown of party-government relations, particularly as we've always been reiterating, the tripod, that is the relationship between MMDCs, constituency executives on one hand, and that of members of parliament. It is important that we always come back to it because it is one of the major reasons why we lose some of our seats. If today we are able to fix this issue, then the New Patriotic Party will have nothing to worry in 2024 as we seek to break the 8. Something that no political party in the Fourth Republic has been able to do. Without a shred of doubt, Mr. Chairman, one of the foremost ways of improving the relationship between party and government appointees is to ensure regular meetings and interaction between party officials at the various levels and the corresponding government appointees, so that frank discussions can be held on all matters of concern to all parties. And I'm grateful that the CEOs organized one just about a month ago for government appointees and the party. And I can say on authority that it was a very, very timely and fruitful discussion we had there. And we believe that as a party, we will continue to engage our government appointees and government officials in order to ensure that we bring to their attention challenges that we face and things that need to be done as they move on. Ladies and gentlemen, as the party in government, we should not lose sight of the fact that the people will be very critical of what we do. We are the legitimate of many critical minds, but we are expected to be measured in the way and manner we respond to these criticisms, however unmeritorious and discomforting these criticisms will be. We must appreciate the fact that communication when you are in government is not the same as when you are in opposition, where you can virtually say anything and get away with it. In government, you are largely expected to be providing answers. It is because of this that we expect that government appointees, ministers, CEOs, MMDCs, who have been put in charge of public purse and are expected to have the answers, will play a leading role in communicating government policies and government programs as the party support them in the delivery of these policies. We are enjoined by Article 3.5 of the party constitution to promote and defend the good name of our party and government at all times. By this, every member of the party is expected to be a communicator for the party and government. In our quest to boost party-government relationship, we are rolling out, or we've already rolled out, comprehensive media and communication strategy to enhance party-government communication, part of which includes detailed auditing and the organization of capacity-building workshops for our regional, national, and constituency communicators. We are also holding regular press briefings more than ever to trumpet our achievements. A lot more is being done in this space, and a lot more must be done. Mr. Chairman, I must also report to this conference that we are done with all the necessary preparations for the establishment of our party school. We have secured the National Secretariat. The National Council or Governing Council has been appointed for the party school. It shall be chaired by the immediate past Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Mike Aaron Okwe. The National Council, that's the National Governing Council, has also appointed a rector for the school in the person of Professor Bonzi Simpson, the immediate past rector for Jimpa. So all is set for a grand launch of the NPP Party School in January 2022, which is a symbolic year because it coincides with the 10th anniversary of the founding of the New Patriotic Party. The school shall, among other things, educate our members on the party's philosophies, values, history, political strategy, and communications, with a view to imbuing in them the very tenets of democratic governance and practice from perspective of a center-right ideals, which underpin the foundation of the New Patriotic Party. I am also pleased to once again report the New Patriotic Party is the only political party in Ghana that has been able to organize constituency annual delegate conferences this year in all its 275 constituencies of the country. These conferences, which were held from 21st August to 27th August 2021, in Article 7 of the party's constitution, came off successfully and were COVID compliant, owing to the protocols put in place by the party. The party, in the month of October, held regional annual delegate conferences in all the 16 regions of our country, pursuant to Article 9 of the party's constitution and in accordance with schedules approved by the National Executive Committee. Myself and my colleague national officers led some of my colleague national officers to supervise each of the 16 regional conferences that were held. The regional conferences were also very, very successful. Mr. Chairman, one critical matter that will be considered at this conference is a review of the party's constitution. Article 19 of the party constitution mandates the General Secretary of the party to receive notice and proposal for amendment of the party constitution not later than 2 months before the National Annual Delegates Conference. These proposals were duly received by my office, following which the party set up an 11-member ad hoc Constitution Review Committee, chaired by Honorable Alex Afenyo-Markin, to assist my office in fine-tuning these amendment proposals and drafting motions for consideration and approval by this conference. The aftermath of the conference and the possible constitutional amendments, if this what conference is looking for, to be effected to the constitution, will then pave way for internal primaries to be held at the various levels of the party, to renew the mandate of serving party executives or elect new ones. It is envisaged that, all things being equal, we will hold our polling station, electoral area, constituency, regional and national elections from January to June. I must also say, I received over 120 proposals for amendment. In fine-tuning these proposals, we are left with 91 motions that need to be considered by this conference. I wish to also use this opportunity to stress that for each of these internal elections, starting from polling station to national elections in June, July, the party will come out with rules and regulations to govern the conduct of the respective internal elections, and all party members are enjoined to fully abide by the rules and regulations. I wish to conclude, Mr. Chairman, by re-emphasizing my confidence that, as always, we will all give our maximum cooperation to the exercise we have before us today in order to once again have a successful conference. I also wish to use this opportunity to make a passionate appeal to all of us, especially the will-be candidates for the various positions in the upcoming internal elections and their supporters, to conduct this exercise with the necessary candor for the love of the party. Yes, indeed, it is true that we have an 8-year break, and we are going to do exactly that by the grace of God. We must strive at all times to make the Ghanaian people realize that they are the greatest beneficiaries of the policies and programs of Akufo-Addo government, and that all these policies and programs will be at great risk if we allow the NDC to come back to power again. They will certainly collapse them because, as they have said, time without number, they do not believe in these laudable policies. They do not believe in free SHS, and I believe that they will collapse it. They do not believe in NAPO, and I believe that they will collapse it. They did not believe in NHIS, and I believe that they will collapse it. They did not believe in planting and food and jobs, and I believe that they will collapse it. They did not believe in youth employment program. They decided to change the name to JIDA, and they used it to create loot and share, and I believe that they will collapse it. Teachers training allowance scheme will be collapsed. Nursing training allowance scheme will be collapsed. Allowances for Arabic instructors will be collapsed. Capitation grant scheme will be collapsed. Mobile money interoperability will be collapsed. Paperless post system will be collapsed. Digital address system will be collapsed. One constituency, one ambulance will be collapsed. Drones for the delivery of medical supplies will be collapsed. National ID card system will be collapsed. NEP will be collapsed. One district, one factory intervention will be collapsed. Nothing will be left, and we will be back to square one. The NDC will certainly take us back to the era of unemployment graduate associations. They will take us back to the IMF and their killer conditionalities. They will take us to the days of doomsaw. They will take us back to the days of freezing public sector employment. They will take us back to the days where teachers and nurses and other public sector workers who worked for 2 years and more were only paid for 3 months' salaries. They will take us back to the days of economic stagnation. They will take us back to the days of impunity. They will take us back to the days of hopelessness. They will take us back to the days where students were compelled to pay their own utility bills on campus. We all remember that we've been here before when the NDC was in power. So this is not rocket science. It is not rocket science at all. It is real. We know them. We have lived with their experience. We know how bitter it was. We will definitely revisit those dark days if we do not work hard to make sure that the NDC does not come close to the corridors of power again. It is really and truly not always about our party or about what our party does for us now or does not do for us now. It is not about I haven't gotten anything from my party and government. It is about our future. It is about our children's future. It is about our family's future. It is about our country's future. Let this consciousness be our biggest motivation to work hard for our party and government to win the 2024 elections. We have a good story to tell the Ghanaian people. We should all go out there and tell our story at all opportunity we get. We should let the people of Ghana know how scary the NDC is. We must all get involved in this project for the prosperity of our dear country and its people. We are the party and government that proved to the world that despite the effect of COVID-19, which had shattered the world's economy, we had the wherewithal to restore confidence in the Ghanaian people to the envy of the world. It is therefore not surprising that we have a president that the whole of Africa has been voted. It is therefore not surprising that we have a president that the whole of Africa has been voted the African of the Year. It just cannot be better than this. Thank you, and may we have a successful conference to the glory of God and country. Merry Christmas and a prosperous
Thank
New
you,
Year
thank you,
in
thank
advance.
you. The General